In a world like Game of Thrones, filled with war, betrayal, and power struggles, it's easy to overlook the quiet, human relationships. The ones that aren't about crowns or kingdoms, but about survival, healing, and connection. The bond between Sansa Stark and Theon Greyjoy is one of those rare relationships. Subtle, complex, and forged not through love or loyalty, but through shared trauma and the long road to redemption. They grew up under the same roof, Winterfell, but they were never close. Sansa was the lady, dreaming of princes and castles. Theon was the ward, a hostage with a noble name and a fragile ego, trying to find his place in a house that wasn't truly his. They barely noticed each other back then, two background characters in each other's early stories. But years later, they would be brought back together in the most horrific way imaginable. Both prisoners of Ramsay Bolton in the very castle they once called home. By then, Theon wasn't even Theon anymore. He was Reek, broken in body and spirit, haunted by the weight of his betrayal and tortured into submission. Sansa, promised to be queen, was instead trapped in a brutal, violent marriage, a pawn in someone else's war. It's here, in the darkness of Winterfell, that something incredible happens. Sansa sees Theon, not Reek, not the traitor who took her home, but the boy who once lived beside her, the part of him that still held a flicker of humanity. And Theon sees her too, not the porcelain lady of Winterfell, but a woman fighting to survive. In that shared suffering, a connection sparks, not romantic, not political, but real. And when Theon finally decides to help Sansa escape, risking his life to get her away from Ramsay, it's more than just an act of redemption. It's a turning point for them both. That leap from the walls of Winterfell wasn't just about escaping their captor. It was about reclaiming their lives, their dignity, their names. They reunited in Winterfell before the battle against the Night King. Theon returns, not for glory, not for forgiveness, but for Sansa. She runs to him not with suspicion, but with open arms. It's one of the rawest, most genuine moments in the entire series. Because here are two people who have lost everything, but found in each other a rare kind of understanding. A quiet kind of love. Not romantic, but deeply emotional. Sansa even defends Theon when Daenerys questions his loyalty. "I will never forget what he did for me," she says. And she means it. And when Theon dies defending Bran, he dies a Stark in every way that matters. He dies not as Reek, not as a villain, but as Theon Greyjoy, raised by Starks. He dies with courage, with dignity, and with purpose. And as the smoke settles, Sansa lays a Stark pin on his chest. Not as a symbol of pity, but as an honor, because she knew who he really was. And maybe she was the only one who ever did. And Sansa, she survives, she rises, she becomes queen in the north. But through her journey, through all the betrayal and brutality, one of the few people who treated her with dignity when it mattered most was Theon. Their relationship was never flashy. It wasn't filled with grand speeches or epic battles. But it was real, quiet, deep, and human. In a show known for its dragons and betrayals, their bond is one of the most emotional arcs in the entire story. Two broken people, one shared escape, a silent kind of trust that needed no words. Their bond was silent but powerful. If it touched you too, hit like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more forgotten moments from Game of Thrones.